Today we're going to talk about developing conversation skills with women. Yesterday I was doing a live stream and I had a guy in the comments asking, how did I build up my skills so that I can communicate with women a lot more effectively in order to gain better results in what I want from those women? And honestly, at that time, I was telling a certain story. I told him it was all about the status that I gained in the beginning, but over time, I did learn to develop conversational skills. So this video is going to be about specifically the conversation skills that are needed in order to talk to a woman and deal with them on a daily basis. So that way they actually are more interested in you without you actually really putting in a whole lot of work. And one of the biggest things when it comes to communicating with women is you actually want the woman to be talking more than you are. In any situation, if you're trying to build a relationship with a woman, they actually are going to feel way more connected to you when they talk the most. Because what this does for them is it makes them feel like they are able to express themselves freely. That's what women want. They want to be able to express themselves freely, and also they want it to feel like it's safe to say how they truly feel around you without being judged. Believe it or not, these are the things that help you. When a woman feels like she could say what's really on her mind, or she could say what's really like something she would never tell somebody else, when she feels like you're that person that is the safe person to say that around, they will open up to you. They will do a lot of the talking, and you just let them run with it. All you have to do is be a great active listener. You just let the woman talk, and you throw in your 2 cents in between and never try to impose your will upon them. Like women don't want to be educated a lot of times when you hear some of their stories or they're telling you about something, and since men operate on logic, you're usually going to try to jump in and impose logic on whatever she's saying. They don't care about that for the most part. They just want to express themselves. And that's what you got to do is when they're in a conversation, let them do most of the talking, but show that you're listening. If you're in person, all you have to do is mind your body language, make sure that you're very relaxed and you show that you're listening. You make eye contact with them. You just literally react to whatever they're telling you. They'll tell you stories, you react and be like, "Dang, I can't believe they said that." And you let them keep going. They'll say something like, "Oh, I didn't like when somebody did this." You be like, "Ah, dang. I thought you would have liked something like that. I guess I had you wrong." And then let them keep talking because that's all they want. Like I've had many conversations with women where we talk for hours. Like I've had first dates when I've been going around dating. I've had multiple first dates where the women are surprised because they are around me for hours on a first date. Because sometimes I don't always go out on dates at night, but the women, they will be surprised at how comfortable they feel about talking to me first time meeting me in person. They can't believe it. They'll say, "Oh, I can't believe that you're so understanding," or "I can't believe that we've been on a date for this long." Like, I literally had one chick tell me she didn't want the date to end. I was ready to go just do whatever else I need to do. And I'm saying, I just cutting it off because I'm like, okay, I spent enough time with this chick. We've been on a date for like 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, I'm about to go do something else. This is in the middle of the day by the time we get to this. I've done breakfast dates, all kinds of stuff. She said, "I don't want the date to end." I just told her, look, maybe we'll meet up later or something like that. But I'm about to go do what I want to do. But I appreciate the time that we spent together, and that's what I'm saying. You got to get to a point where the women enjoy the conversation with you so much that they really don't want to break apart from you because they don't know a lot of people that are like you that will just sit and listen. Most people are programmed to just interject or throw their own 2 cents in for everything that somebody has to say. And really, with women, you just have to sit back and show that you're listening. You throw in a comment here and there. Even sometimes you can share a story. The thing is, if you notice that you're starting to talk for too long, you know you're saying so many sentences to explain your story, and that person hasn't gotten a chance to talk yet, you're going to start to lose their interest, believe it or not. And so, overall, getting better at storytelling is one thing. I'm not the best at it, but this is different. I'm making a YouTube video. I don't talk exactly the same way with every person when I'm speaking or having a story. I try to cut things short when I'm in person. So I tell a story to a woman, and then if I realize, okay, I'm saying too much, let me just shorten this up and then let them get back to talking. Do that every single time. Learn to get your sentences out real quick, get your point across, get your story across. You have to be basically selfless. You have to be so selfless that you're not worried about what you need to say to that person, and let her do all the talking. I think some guys talk too much because they are trying to impress the woman, maybe, or you feel like you're trying to sell yourself. This is the biggest mistake right there. You're trying to sell yourself when you don't have to. And that's what women can sense that too. When you feel like you have to talk all the time and dominate the conversation with women, that it turns them off because now they don't want a guy that's selling himself to her. Like, because now it seems like the guy must not have that much value. He feels like he's got to market himself like this by with his words. Women don't like when men market themselves with their words. They start finding you cocky or arrogant and not so much confident because confidence actually comes from silence too. When they see that you're silent, it seems like you're just so confident in who you are, you don't feel a need to really do anything to impress. That's actually what they want. And so you can give off that energy by just shutting your mouth, man. Shut your mouth. Let them talk. Just let them talk and say, okay, I feel you on that. So you interacting with their conversation at the same time. I'm not saying you don't do anything. You interact with the conversation. But let's let them speak. I've had multiple times, like I say, with these women, that they have you do this with conversations, and you'll find them saying the most surprising things, like, "I've never connected with somebody like this before," and you sitting here thinking, "Shoot, all I did was just let you talk," and they be like, "Dang, I've never been able to connect with somebody so quickly. I'm surprised I've been able to connect with you so quickly. It's not a lot of guys I meet where I just connect with them. I don't get that connection like I get with you." And that comes from I'm not saying anything special in their ear is the funny part. And when I do, you keep it short, you could keep it funny, only talk if you want to tell a little joke or something and close it back up. Retract, send it back to them, let them go with it. So hit you a little joke every now and then based on what they're saying, and don't tell jokes that are negatively towards them. You can joke on them a little bit, but it's something you have to make sure you do it with finesse so that's not actually attacking them. So you can make fun of little stuff if they say something like, "Oh, I got this little butt," and it was like, I wasn't gonna say it. I said I noticed, I kind of had noticed, but I wasn't gonna say that. And so you can kind of joke like that. That may not be a good example, but you get what I'm saying. It's not really an attack. You're kind of agreeing with them a little bit, but you're trying to make fun of it just because they brought it up. They making fun of it, but you never want to say anything outwardly to just go ahead and attack women when you're in conversations with them. So also remember that, like you still have to treat women with respect. You have to treat them with respect in order to have great relationships with them. The only time you divert from that is when you aren't getting respect. Then that's when they earn the disrespect that they get. But other than that, you always are treating them with respect. You try to be as honest as you can, and you just basically have fun with it. That's what I do. Just have fun with the conversation that you're actually having with them. The conversations don't always have to be that serious unless that's the direction you want to take it. But women really are, they're creatures of just exploring, having fun, and being expressive. And that's the biggest way that you're going to be able to connect with them because they see it as a connection. When you allow them to do it, if you're talking and taking up so much space on the verbal floor, they don't have any room to jump in. That's not something that is welcoming to them. When you learn how to even sometimes be silent, let the topic die down a little bit and see if they bring up something else. This is literally some of the times where I've gotten the most intimate conversations with women is I'll let a topic die down and I'll just hold it there, see where they want to go with it next, and you just be quiet. And then they'll ask you a real deep question like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you something that I never told anybody," and you like, "What?" Like now you unlock the next level from being silent. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna unlock the next level from being silent. Sometimes they'll get to that point where it's like, "Hey, I always wanted to tell you something, but you gotta promise not to say anything." That's when you start getting there and you're like, "Oh shoot, what happened?" Where the switch up come from? Because I wasn't doing anything extra. I wasn't saying nothing to even get her to open up to me. I didn't ask her to open up to me. They're gonna be willing to open up to you is what I'm saying. That's the thing I'm talking about. And it comes from you just being confident, being silent, knowing how to be active in the conversation, but don't dominate it. Like men, of course, if you want to be masculine, there are areas where you will have to dominate, but in the conversation area, let them have it. Let them have it. You can come out and spit game every now and then, but keep your stories short. Don't sit there and overly try to convince a woman of anything. If y'all have different ideologies and you want to insert yours in there somewhere, after you say what you got to say, just let them have it. Even if you disagree, don't even tell them you disagree. Because in the end, it actually will help them build more interest towards you when they have to figure out what you really think about them. That's actually what gives women the excitement when they aren't sure what your thoughts are, because all you do is listen very well and you're receptive to their communication and y'all are having fun sometimes when you're talking. And when they go home at the end, they're like, I don't know anything about what he actually thinks. I don't know what his ideologies are like. I'm trying to figure this man out. They will try to figure you out, and that's what's going to give you the edge in dealing with them, because now the woman's got some excitement now into trying to not break you down, but really unlock you. They want to try to unlock you now because you unlocked everything about them before they even know anything about you. That's really how conversation games should go. You just letting them give you piece by piece by piece. You give a little bit here and there, but you sprinkling it because you have to make it. It's not about you. Don't make it about you. Make it about them, and they will feel like they're connecting with you, and they will tell you. Sometimes they will be intimate with you, they will open up to you, they will sometimes desire you more than you even desire them sometimes doing this, because women love that. They love having a man that's going to let them talk, because most men don't care when women speak. Most men don't care what women have to say, especially that's why in marriages, that's why women can end up straying off to other people, because the guy that they're more likely to have an affair with is going to be the one that listens to her in some kind of fashion, because the husband don't listen because he don't care. He trying to do what he need to do. He working, he coming home, he don't want to hear his woman talking at the end of the day. I can understand that to an extent, but really, that's the way to unlock these women. That's the way to let them feel closer to you, is let them talk. They get connection through that. And so that's why men, I know we think of it as physically we get connection, but women actually get connection from that. Being expressed, whoever they're expressing their feelings to the most without being judged or being humiliated or being like bashed upon when they express them feelings, it gives them positive feedback. And that positive feedback makes them feel good. And that's also what makes them develop feelings of love, is when they feel like they can share and there's not going to be consequences to sharing themselves, sharing their heart, sharing their true desires. That's how you get that. You will unlock it by just being an active listener. Learn how to do that. Be still in your energy while some people are talking. You can do this with other men too. Like just sit back and you could ask questions like you're in an interview. Think about when you see any podcast or any interview, the best episodes are when the guest comes on, and the more the guest talks in the show, you feel like you gotten more out of it. You feel like you got more value. We hate when we watch a podcast and an interviewer is doing all the talking. Like, what are you doing? I already seen plenty of episodes with you. I'm not here to really see you. I want to see what the person's going to say on your show. I want to see how y'all interact together, yes, but I really want to see the guest speak. And that's how you have to treat it when you're with a woman. You let them do the talking just almost as if they were in an interview. And most interviews aren't always about questions. Sometimes you're just throwing in a little bit here and there based on what the person's saying to keep the story going. Your goal is to just keep them talking. That's the only skill that you really need to build. Build the skill of learning how to keep the woman talking. And in order to do that, you got to really be listening to what they're saying. And you keep leading the way for the next piece of the conversation. You kind of hand it to them and then let them go from there. All right. So just pay attention to what the woman's saying. Learn how to interact. You can give facial expressions. You can react. If you want to laugh, you can laugh. You want to throw a joke in there. Like I say, have fun with the conversation, actually. The more you have fun with the conversation and you show that you're relaxed, laid back, they're going to start enjoying it too. And don't make fun of them. That's the funny thing. Don't make fun of them while they're in the conversation. They're telling their stories. They're giving their experiences. But shout out to everybody that's been watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all in another video.